This way.
What's going on, guys? We are here with the One for All gameplay. Looks like playing Ezreal against Nautilus. God, this is really not gonna be fun, dude.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But who am I top with? The magic pisser. What is that name, dude? All right, whatever.
Let's
gonna
go.
win this game, boys, because Ezreal's broken. What are they saying? I think we're all gonna go 40% CDR. We
Minions
have two
have
AP
spawned.
Ezreals, I guess. I don't really like AP Ezreal ever since Rune Glaive got nerfed, but I don't know. Honestly, we're probably gonna lose because Nautilus, they're probably going all tank, and we're gonna get shit on.
Agreed.
But we're gonna try. We're gonna try our hardest. Coming with Cloud9. They already lost, but it's good. Cloud9's still the best. Let's just spam all game. Honestly, they're probably in the bush. No.
Got it.
Just one. Did I auto him in the minion? Oh!
Who needs a map?
This is like... It's like Earth all over again, dude, with Ezreal. You're gonna have like 5 Q shot at them at once.
Know your environment.
This poor Nautilus.
First,
How did they... What are they doing? Oh my gosh.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Oh, tower shooting at me. Honestly, dude, we're gonna lose. They're all starting health except it's starting mana. I don't know.
Over here.
Just generally this. Honestly, dude, we're gonna lose. No, this is a pretty
No time
boring
to
lane.
waste.
I think go game. Are you kidding? What was that?
Go.
Shield. Alright, we're gonna come gank these guys. Oh. I might have just barriered, but we're good. It's not like it's
Over here.
the level 2 gank. The strats, dude. Here we come. It's working.
Got it.
Look at that. Then on your way back to top lane, you type in broken. Oh, are we getting counter ganked right now?
Who needs a map?
Okay. Oh! Ooh. Oh my
an
time
enemy
to
has
waste.
been slain.
That's not cool. When 3 Nautilus hooks get shot at you at once.
Agreed.
That is not cool. Oh crap. Alright. Top die.
This way.
Oh, I just dude. We're going blue Ezreal this game though. Rush Iceborne and Tier. CDR boots. What else? Essence Reaver Bork. Yeah.
Know your
Last Whisper.
environment.
We're definitely getting a Last Whisper this game against these people. And we're probably I don't even know if we're gonna get freaking blue Ezreal because they're so tanky. I might get like a stupid idea. A black cleaver. Because they're so tanky, I want the armor.
No time to waste.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Ooh, the jukes! The juke! Ooh, Please stop it.
Time to get our hands dirty.
You don't see that. That didn't happen. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. Here. Alright, that works.
Over here!
Three people have a tier. This is gonna turn out real bad, dude. I can already feel it. This is gonna be trash. We're gonna get trashed on by the full tank Nautilus. They're all gonna go full tank. And we're gonna get trashed on late game.
Agreed.
Honestly. Why are they playing Nautilus? Who on their team voted Nautilus? Whose idea was that? Go in. Make you sick? Oh, scrub. Anyways. You guys get to watch me shoot my amazing ultis, dude. Oh, that's broken.
Let's go.
I can't land one. How do you Ezreal? Oh yeah, the new splash art for new Ezreal came out. Looks really nice.
Who needs a map?
We're good. Not really, but we're good. Just get the tower. No! Ah! Not me! Ow! Okay. See, they invented health pots for a reason.
No time to waste.
Well, I didn't do that level 2 gank. I'd be level 6 right now, but you know what? It was worth. How do you
Careful.
It's gonna take all my farm. I honestly hate the original Ezreal skin. I hate it so much. I think I got a mystery gift from Ezreal. Snipe someone here.
Who needs a map? You belong in a museum. 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 You belong in a museum.
An enemy has been slain.
You belong in a museum. 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 Over here. You belong in a museum. 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 You belong in a museum.
I don't know if I've
You
ever
belong in a
this.
museum. You belong in a museum.
I'm probably gonna get reported.
You belong in a museum.
Honestly.
You belong in a museum. No problem. You belong in a
I
museum.
feel like this guy's like one of those scrubs who play out
You
sound.
belong in a
So
museum.
he's like, all he just sees is me standing something. I don't know what it is.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Oh my gosh. That would have been.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a
An enemy
museum.
has been
You
slain.
belong in a museum.
Oh. There are still shots.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go tell this guy where he belongs.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
He's getting mad.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Oh my god, dude, that's really
You belong in a museum. 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 You belong in a museum.
Yo, he's mad at me, bro.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Still gonna kill him.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Oh my god.
You belong in a museum.
Ugh.
It's all
Why do they keep doing that? That's not fair! Oh, bye. Yeah, I gotta kill him. Ah! Don't flash for me!
An ally has been
You belong in a
slain.
museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Oh!
You belong in a
Just
museum.
denied me!
Slain.
Please, dude! Why? Oops.
An enemy has been slain.
I don't even know how to spell museum. How do you spell museum? Can I look this up or is that illegal? No. I don't know how to spell museum. I think it's... I think I'm right. Oh, it's E-U-M? I knew that. Don't make fun of me. Okay. What do I build? Oh yeah, we need Iceborne. We need an Iceborne gauntlet.
Got it.
Wanna know what's broken? You shoot your ult into their base, and it's like an automatic kill. If you would just listen to me. Why do I have Steam open? I didn't mean to. That wasn't my ult. My ult.
Your
Actually, I don't
environment.
know. Nope. Oh, what? Hitbox.
Time to strike. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. Agreed. You belong in a museum. 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 You belong in a museum.
Dude, they get mad. Oh. Please. Maybe I should stop spamming that. Ooh. How do you spell this again? Is it like E-U-M? Oh my gosh, outplayed.
Down.
This way.
Was he low? I didn't see him. Is he low? I'm gonna shoot at enemies. Honestly. I'm probably gonna get a kill too. Because they're gonna back from dragon and I'm just gonna be like, boom! If only they were lower, dude. If only they were lower. What? What? Whoa, whoa. Why does he have a Lich Bane?
Got it.
What is he building a Lich Bane for? He doesn't need to do that. Oh. He doesn't need to do that.
I'll handle it.
And a tier. Oh my, this guy's glitched out. Oh.
You belong in a museum. 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 Over here. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. No time to waste.
Whoa! Ow! Oh my! Why is he damage? Holy shit.
Ally has been slain.
Is Lich Bane on him a thing?
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has
Ooh.
been slain.
Ooh.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh my gosh. I don't think they get
Let's
it.
go.
I don't think they get it. Actually belong in a museum. Like Nautilus is like they'd be like, oh, we found this. We found this thing underwater. And then they put it in a museum. So no. He doesn't belong in Summoner's Rift playing League of Legends. No, he belongs in a museum.
Know your environment.
Honestly, we're so behind. We'd rather spam You Belong in a Museum than farm. You know what? In the end, it's worth it because this is...
Agreed.
This is... What is this game called? Can I load up somewhere? All for one? No, one for all. Gosh, it's just... Get yourself together, dude. Get yourself together. Can someone tell me why? Can someone tell me why?
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Something's happening.
Your
He
team
flash
has
ulted me,
destroyed a
dude.
turret.
Honestly, that should be like against the law.
Killing spree.
No time to waste.
I bet you I'm gonna get a kill. Comes my ulti. And... Ooh!
An enemy has been
Let's
slain.
go.
Did it. Oh my gosh, am I supposed to be going finally? We're going, boys. Just the way Ezreal runs, dude. Just the way I run.
Over here.
Concerned. I'm really concerned about this. I don't think he realized that. Ooh! Ooh! Where's my team? Go in! Oh, kill him! Oh, kill him! He burned flash for that! I would have been more useful telling him he belongs in a museum. Honestly. This game mode is something
An
else.
enemy has been slain.
Dude, honestly.
Careful.
Who is this?
This way.
Isn't that all?
An ally has been slain.
He shouldn't need more. He probably doesn't have any like CDR in his
Enemy
masters.
killing spree.
I don't want to like play.
Who needs a
honestly.
map?
I'm gonna die.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Rampage.
Full armor, dude. What are these things?
Got it.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Eventually. If only I aimed it to someone like there. Full health is not fair.
Shut down.
Got it.
Look how fed these guys are. He's 8-3 with 140 farm, and I'm just here like 1-6 with 37 farm.
This way. You belong in a museum. 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 Agreed. You belong in a museum.
They want me
belong
so
in a
bad.
museum. You belong in a museum. Who needs a map? You belong in a museum.
An
Watch this
enemy
kill
has
someone.
been slain.
Honestly, watch this kill someone.
An ally has been slain.
Start to
Know your environment.
Did I get it?
Slain.
I got it!
Shut down.
That was mine.
It's all skill.
Forgetting I can't. Ah! Nautilus is broken, dude. Oh my gosh.
No time to waste. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
That was to me, that's racist.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a
I don't have like any.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
See, dude, look at all the damage I'm doing. I told you guys I was gonna carry, dude.
Know your environment.
What? I walked out of tower range.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
You belong in a museum. 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 Got it.
I think you're done with it.
An ally has been slain.
Oh.
Over here.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Please don't kill me. I can't. What is this guy doing? No. No, he's not getting.
An enemy has been slain.
Is my tier like fully stacked? No.
This way. Who needs a
What
nap?
they talk? What? I would kill this guy.
You belong in a museum.
Come on, dude. That's so bugged out. I gotta block. Come on. Come on. This is not fair. I need a. Oh my god. Nautilus is so bugged out. He lands one here, right? So I E back here. Then he shoots it here and it just like teleports onto me.
An ally has been slain.
Oh, that was so stupid. I need to watch that over. That was retarded. Boys.
No time to waste.
Ready for this? I missed him. They all have armor. Except for this one. This one's going like critical
Agreed.
strike chance.
You belong in a museum.
Come on, dude! Tell them to chill!
Let's go. No time to waste.
Look at dude!
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Oh my god! This is Come on!
Shut down. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
And I just oops. Can I like can we surrender please? I'm better at shooting hits. I don't even aim for people, I aim for the base.
This way.
Down.
Hey, am I gonna get a kill?
Careful.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Who needs a map?
He's a NASCAR!
Got it.
Honestly. Okay. Chill, please.
Know your environment.
There's so God, Jesus. Oh! Oh! I got a kill. Alright, we're just gonna back here. All planned, calculated. I'm gonna finish my break
An
and then
enemy
upgrade my
has been
tier.
slain.
And then I'm living in a one night stand. I don't wanna be more than a friend.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Let's do it again.
Agreed.
An ally has been slain.
I didn't know SSR gave you CDR, but I knew you built it.
No problem.
It's one of my fellow friends
Got
being
it.
chased.
Shut down.
No time to waste. You belong in a museum. Know your environment. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a
know.
museum.
No,
Over here.
I'm gonna tap that shit.
You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum. You belong in a museum.
Dude, tell them to stop! I'm peaceful!
You belong in a museum.
broken. So is this guy. Ooh! That's not fair. What? We need a drag? Watch, this is why Ezreal's broken. You shoot my old bot lane, get a catty minion, right?
This way!
And I have enough, so. Alright, we're gonna hold down space or whatever. No. Enter. We're gonna hit D. We're gonna type D or we're gonna flash. Alright, 1, 2. Okay, we're lucky. We're lucky. Jeez. Hit yes. It's not theirs. Why not? That'll wrap it up for today. I think we're all done with that. In that game mode, probably. Nautilus ruined it for me. But, yeah. Peace.